It's hour 4, and the news finally says the words your stomach already knew. Order is breaking down. You feel your pulse in your throat. Your hands start moving before your brain catches up. Bag, keys, shoes, kids go. You tell yourself there's safety out there. A cabin, a friend's farm, open space, clean air. You pull out of your driveway, and you tap the bumper of the car in front of you. Then you realize the car in front of them isn't moving either. The highway is not an exit. It's a parking lot stretching for 40 miles. Engines overheat, tempers boil, fuel gauges drop, babies cry, and if you get trapped out here when night falls, you don't just lose time, you lose options, you lose cover, you lose control. If you make the wrong move in the first 72 hours, you don't die like a soldier. You die like an animal in a crate. Most people think movement equals safety. The science says otherwise. In civil conflict, the road is the most dangerous place on Earth. Tonight you're going to understand why the bug-out strategy fails, and why staying put, even in a danger zone, is statistically safer than becoming a refugee. And there is a single decision point that makes bug-out either survivable or suicidal. Later, because most people don't even know it exists, first, the diagnosis. Your brain has a bias. The grass is greener bias. Home feels like known danger. Away feels like theoretical safety. That away safety is a hallucination. You are trading a fortress you understand for terrain you do. You know which floorboard creaks in your house. You know which window sticks. You know where you can hide and where you can't. On the road, you know nothing. You're a stranger in a shifting maze. Now the first principle, the law of linear vulnerability. A vehicle on a road has almost 0 degrees of freedom, forward or backward, and if either direction is blocked, you are trapped. Your car is not armor. It's thin sheet metal, glass, and a fuel tank. It is a metal cage that advertises you're carrying something worth taking, and logistics dictates something ugly. Military forces and marauders control the arteries first. Highways, bridges, overpasses, intersections. That is where power concentrates. To be on the road is to volunteer for a checkpoint. And checkpoints don't need to be official to be lethal. Now the protocol. 3 rules, designed to keep you out of the food chain. First, the caloric desert. The bug-out fantasy relies on living off the land. For 99% of modern humans, that is a biological impossibility. The woods have a caloric density of near 0, unless you already have the skills, the tools, the time, and the permission to harvest. You can walk 10 miles and burn 1,000 calories. And find nothing but wet leaves and bad decisions. Hunger kills faster than bullets because hunger makes you stupid first. When your blood sugar crashes, your patience disappears, your judgment narrows, your risk tolerance spikes. A starving human does not plan. A starving human lunges. Now compare the caloric math. In the city, even stripped, there are manufactured calories everywhere. Pantries, stores, vending machines, warehouses, restaurants, trash. It is energetically cheaper to defend a pantry than to hunt a deer that doesn't exist for you, and even if the deer exists, do you have a rifle, a clean shot, a way to process meat, a way to preserve it, and the ability to do that without being heard? Most people don't. So stop romanticizing the wilderness. The woods are not a grocery store. They are a slow way to starve. Second, the territorial wall. You assume the countryside is empty or friendly. In civil conflict, rural communities close ranks immediately. They do not see you as a victim. They see you as a locust, a mouth with no roots coming to consume limited resources. That's not cruelty. That's math. Their wells are finite. Their fuel is finite. Their stored food is finite. When you drive into their space, you are not arriving. You are intruding. And intrusion reads as aggression. Bridges and small-town entrances will be barricaded within 24 hours. You roll up to a roadblock in a car full of supplies, and you have just delivered a donation to whoever owns that road. Castle doctrine becomes a mood, not a statute. And you do not want to test how a frightened man with a rifle interprets your intentions. So understand this clearly. Rural land is not neutral terrain. In collapse, it becomes defended territory. Third, fortress advantage. A moving target is harder to hit, but a digging target is harder to kill. Your home has walls, sightlines, and known routes. A car has none of those. In your home, you have mass, you have concealment, you have caches. You have the ability to disappear inside your own terrain. In your car, you are a glowing dot on a line, and the line is controlled by whoever shows up with the biggest stick. So you anchor, you bug in, you fortify the known, you store water, you reduce visibility. You establish routines that don't advertise your readiness. You only evacuate if the structure is compromised. Fire, direct artillery, a chemical hazard. A mob actively breaching your home. Until then, the risk of movement is greater than the risk of staying. Now we close the loop. That single decision point, a hardened destination. If you do not have a hardened destination, a place that expects you, can absorb you, can defend you, then you are not bugging out. You are becoming a refugee. And refugees travel the most predictable routes at the most predictable times with the most visible supplies. Predators love predictable if you have a hardened destination, verified, stocked, secure. Then movement can be a calculated risk. If you don't, movement is self-delusion. Now the grim reality, the window witness. You stay, you lock your doors, you go dark, and you watch your neighbors pack their SUVs. You see panic in their eyes. They scream at you to come with them. You want to save them. You want to explain the math. But the herd doesn't listen when it's stampeding. They will not make it past the county line. They are delivering supplies to whoever controls the highway overpass. And you will probably never see them again. That is the loneliness of survival. You cannot rescue people from their own panic without joining them in the kill box. You let them go and you keep breathing. Now the recap carved into bone. Roads are linear kill boxes. The woods are caloric deserts. Rural areas are hostile territory. Static defense beats mobile vulnerability, unless you have a hardened destination. In the animal kingdom, the prey runs. The predator waits. When you bug out without a hardened destination, you are volunteering to be part of the food chain. Stop running. Dig in. The storm destroys those in the open. The world is fragile. If you want to be ready when it fractures, stay with mortal logic. Stay static. Stay rational. Stay alive.